Honorable Dr. Pukoses, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to thank members of my committee, beginning with my deputy, the Honorable Patrick Ndwiga Munene, member for Chuka Ikambe Ng'ombe, the Honorable Martin Pepela, the Honorable Cynthia Muge, Honorable Mary Maingi, Honorable Pauline Lenguris, Honorable Anthony Kibagendi, Honorable Bishop Titus Kamala, Honorable Dr. Joshua Odongo Ron, Honorable Julius Legakeny Sunguli, Honorable Ruben Kimwok Kiborek, Honorable Martin Owino, Ward Chief, Honorable Duncan Maina, Honorable Professor Kuyo Jaldesa, and Honorable James Nyikal, Dr. James Nyikal. Honorable Speaker, these members really gave a lot of their time to make sure that not just these two bills, we've actually processed 4 bills during these holidays. We have a bill on Kenya Drugs Authority, which I tabled the report. We have a bill on assisted reproductive health by Honorable Millie Adhiambo, which I'll be tabling the report tomorrow. And then these other 2 bills, which have been processed during this recess by these members. Among them, Honorable Speaker, even the Honorable, I want to single out Honorable Cynthia Muge. She was on maternity leave. Her baby is only 4 months, and she was able to create time to come to Mombasa and process those bills. Honorable Speaker, that is a very commendable commitment. It shows how committed the members of this committee are in taking the House business. Honorable Speaker, allow me also to thank the various partners, NHIF, Ministry of Health, and in particular also my legal team, Faith Sialai, and my lead clerk, Arale Hassan, for having led the parliamentary secretariat to do the great job that we've done today. Honorable Speaker, this social health insurance bill is creating a paradigm shift in as far as national social health insurance is concerned. And in particular, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank His Excellency for President Dr. William RUTO for guiding this process and making sure that we are able to deliver this bill in the shortest time possible. I want to thank all the members who came for the public participation to make their contributions to this bill. I'll not be able to mention them, but for this bill we had 25 memorandums to the committee, with some of the members appearing before this committee and making their contributions. This bill, Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, NHIF has been a thorn in the flesh. There's been a lot of corruption, and as even we speak, this committee is carrying out investigations into the fraud by close to almost 30 or 40 hospitals into the NHIF scheme. This is something that must come to an end. Honorable Speaker, this bill creates 3 funds. It creates the primary health care fund, it creates critical emergency and chronic illness fund, it creates a social health insurance fund. Primary health care fund will be at level 1, level 2, and level 3. And the health care promoters, what we call the PCNs, will be every PCN will be in charge of 100 households. And as you saw yesterday, His Excellency President William RUTO launched distribution of the Kadgets for 100,000 community healthcare providers at Uhuru yesterday. This is a commendable contribution to the health care of this nation. And in it, the national government pledged a 50-50 share in terms of enumeration, or in terms of giving the healthcare promoters who have been working as volunteers for many years without anybody giving them a single cent. Yesterday, the national government agreed that they'll be able to pay 50% and the county government pays 50% to these healthcare promoters. So that despite the moving from one house to another, when they get back to their houses, at least they have something to go back to. They have something which they can give their families. Healthcare promoters, Honorable Speaker, are critical contributors to healthcare in this nation. As my friend and member of my committee, Ward Chief, Honorable Martin Owino, who is a primary healthcare specialist, from his experience, which has immensely contributed to the committee's many decisions in supporting this primary health care. The primary health care is the first call of health service. These are the people who will be able to look at the health at the grassroots level, to make sure that even illnesses that could have taken time to be identified, they'll be able to refer you to the right place. They refer you to the dispensary, they can refer you to the health center, then from there, you can be able to get your service. The emergency, chronic illnesses, and fund, and critical illnesses fund. Today morning, Honorable Speaker, members from my community coming from Mutembei who had gone to the dialogue committee headed by majority leader and the minority leader in Bomas to present the issue of Mount Elgon county number 50, which they want. Unfortunately, when they were going back, they were involved in an accident. But I want to thank the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital for attending to them urgently, making sure that they've been treated, and some of them have gone home, and they have 2 who are admitted there. When we have this fund in place, Honorable Speaker, such emergency which has occurred can always be taken from this fund. We have people who are on renal dialysis. After they exhausting their fund in the NHIF, more often they've been paying for enhancement. Enhancement now is not going to be something that you need to pay for, because you have critical care, you have chronic illnesses, you have emergency fund. So what we've done in this law is that we provided that for any other, we know that we have some of our elderly brothers, senior civil servants, former members of parliament. You now have access to the chronic illness fund, but still we provided for you to negotiate with NHIF on how you can be able to enter enhancement. Because in the past, enhancement has been also prone to abuse, where somebody pays for enhancement, but the services you access is more than what you pay for. So we must be able also to guard for that abuse. I know there are worries about the transition in terms of the NHIF staff. What we've agreed is that within one period of transiting, 1 year of transition, the board will be able to carry out assessment. Because we wouldn't want to create a vacuum also. So because we don't want to create a vacuum, we will be able to give the board an opportunity to be able to carry out assessment of those working within NHIF, to see who is competent, who has the necessary skills to carry out several functions, and those ones can be retained. If there is mismatch, as reported in the consultant's report, which was commissioned by the World Bank. Take, for example, you are a geologist What are you doing in NHIF as a geologist? You should be taken to a geology department within the public service to offer your geology services. You can't be in NHIF. So what we want is that we want the board to sit down, look at those who are competent to offer services. We have people in NHIF who have been involved in corruption activities. Why should they still be there? Especially in areas like procurement, where you have somebody even going to court to protect himself from being transferred. What business does such a person have in NHIF? So we want to make sure that this NHIF is able to offer services. And as the majority leader quoted the head of state, mambo ni matatu. Mambo ni matatu pia. Kwamba either you go to public service, you can retire voluntarily, or the third one, if you are competent, then we retain you. So that's how we wanted the NHIF to also perform. Hiyo ni mambo ni matatu ya rais. Na lazima tufuate hayo. So, Honorable Speaker, this Social Health Insurance Fund will be presenting its budget to the National Assembly for approval. That budget, once approved, cannot be amended unless through a supplementary paper that will still come again to the House. This is to control abuse, because in the past, NHIF would make a budget proposal, present it to the board, then at the board level, they are able to implement, and that was prone to abuse. Now, it will be up to the National Assembly Committee on Health to approve that budget, and once it's approved, you can only make amendments through a supplementary budget, which is a complete shift from what it was before, where people are just sitting, coming up with proposals. You come up with a proposal costing billions of money. And this is where we are talking about cartels, where majority leader says you have cartels who think they can be able to bring amendments to continue doing what you've been doing. You've been warned. That is not going to happen. We're going to ensure that things are done in a proper and transparent manner.
What's your point of order, Honorable Junet?
Madam Speaker, I don't doubt the competence of the chairman of the Health Committee, Honorable Pukoses. Madam Speaker, amendments in this House can only be brought by a member of parliament. There is no member of parliament here whose name is a cartel. So if you think the NHIF people want to bring amendment, they have no avenue to do it here. It is only a member of, Honorable Pukoses, it's only a member of parliament who can, and every member is entitled to bring an amendment to a bill. It is his right, constitutional right. I can see the majority is trying to tutor you, but the issue here is every member is entitled to do an amendment as so he wishes. Now the thing is, whether the amendment will be carried or defeated is another issue. The amendment can be carried on the floor or the amendment can be defeated, Honorable Pukoses. So don't gag members. You are using very serious, intimidating words that nobody might even attempt to do an amendment to this bill, Honorable Pukoses. When have you transformed from a serious medical practitioner to a serious threat and warmonger in this House?
Let me allow Honorable Pukoses, then you can give your point of order, Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Junet. And when we are consulting with Majority Leader, it is actually sponsor an amendment to create room. What I'm saying is the whole House. I'm not saying this side or that side of the House. I'm saying this House is aware and is alive to any cartel outside there sponsoring an amendment through any member to continue corrupt practices in NHIF.
Thank you, Honorable Pukoses. I think you've made yourself clear. Do you still have a point of order, Leader of Majority? He has answered. Okay, proceed, Honorable Pukoses.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and I want to thank Junet for being alert. And I hope that he will be alert to many of those kinds of amendments that will be sponsored, so that we can make sure that we streamline NHIF to make sure that it's transparent, it is able to offer services to our people, because a person who is sick in Migori and a person who is sick in Endebess deserves good health care services at an affordable, efficient, and quality services within this country. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I second.
Honorable members,